Hi guys, so today we are going to see about the historical background in the polity topic. So firstly, historical background we are going to see. The first thing is, so British East India Company came to India in December 31, 1600 as a traders. So till 1947, India is under British control. So for British controlling India because of the East India Company. So this was started by East India Company, while East India Company came to India as a traders for trading purpose. Then it came the trading functions are converted into a political administration, and later British took over the authority in India. Then our freedom fighters fought and get freedom from them. So, firstly, it was started by the British East India Company, who came to India in December 31, 1600 as a traders under a charter granted by Queen Elizabeth I of British. So, charter is mean basically a signed agreement. So, Queen Elizabeth putting a signed agreement for East India Company to do a trade in India. So till 1765, so they came in 1600, and till 1765 they only did a pure trading functions only. They did not involve in any political administration. But in 1957 there will be a happening of battle of Plassey, and 1964 there is a battle of Buxar, and 1965 the Allahabad Treaty is signed. So due to these various historical events, so the British East India Company got the Diwani rights. Diwani rights basically means tax collecting rights. So Mughals give a tax collecting rights to British. So they are collecting the tax from peoples of the India. Then slowly they involve in the political. Slowly they involve in the political functions. So, till now they are only doing the trading functions. So after giving a tax collecting rights, they slowly involved in the political administration as well. So 1857, the Great Revolt has happened, which was come in the history part. So from there, company rule to crown rule will happen in the India. So 1948, it's an additional information. So Vasco da Gama from Portuguese came to India, and he is the first to come and the last to leave India. So the first one is company rule. So company rule started from 1773 to 1858. So 1773 to 1858 company rules, which means the company will rule in India. So because after the Great Revolt, there will be a happening between the British government and the East India Company. So the company rule was started in 1773 to 1858. The first thing during the company rule they did is, so the British government take the control and regulate the affairs of the East India Company in India. So before that, the East India Company will all did the trading functions in India. So after so from the company rule, the British will always have an eye over the East India Company. So the first time the political administrative functions of the company has been involved. So then later it provide a foundation for the central administration of India. So before India there is no central administration. Like the whole India is controlled from a single point. So after the East India Company came into the political administrative functions, it it built a basic foundation for the central administration in India. So in company rule, the first act they made is the Regulating Act 1773. So in 1773, the Governor of Bengal posting was changed into Governor General of Bengal. So Warren Hastings became the first Governor General of Bengal, and Lord Clive became the Governor of Bengal, which was first as Governor of Bengal. Then later it was changed into Governor General of Bengal. So after that, Supreme Court was established in 1774, which consists of 1 plus 3 members. So one Chief Justice and 3 normal justice, which was started in Calcutta, and the Chief Justice was Elijah Impey. So Elijah Impey was the first Chief Justice after the Supreme Court has been established in 1774. So there is another board called Court of Directors, which is a governing body of the company. So the company was governed by the Court of Directors. So to handle the MCR, so it is a short form which is called as Military, Civil and Revenue Affairs of the company. So the East India Company's military, civil and revenue affairs in India was controlled by the Court of Directors. And also the Governor General Executive Council has been started, which consists of 4 members to assist Warren Hastings. So Warren Hastings, as we see, Warren Hastings was the first Governor General of Bengal. So they arranged a committee which consists of the 4 members, which is called as Governor General Executive Council, to assist the Warren Hastings. So the later the Act of Settlement 1981 has been passed due to the some changes which has been made in 1773 Regulating Act. So after that, Pitt's India Act came into the force, where the revenue of India will under the British Parliament control. So okay, then the East India Company function has been divided into two. The first time it has been divided into two functions. The one is commercial function, the another one is political function. So the commercial function has been controlled by the Court of Directors, and the political functions has been controlled by the Board of Control. So this was called as dual government. The government was controlled by two form of board members. The one is Court of Directors and another one is Board of Control. So this was came in the Pitt India Acts of 1874. So 1773 we have Regulating Act. After 11 years we have Pitt India Act 1784. Then after 9 years we have Charter Act. See, if you remember this Charter Act, the Charter Act was signed once in every 20 years. So first one is 1793 and next one is 1813. 20 years after, the next one is 1833. After 20 years, 1853. So the Charter Act comes once in every 20 years. In Charter Act 1993, the Governor General have more powers and controls and the subordinates. So the government in Bombay and Madras provinces became a subordinate to the Governor General during the due to the Charter Act of 1793. Then there will be a trade monopoly which is for 20 years, which means, so in British there are many trade companies are there, but only the East India Company from British will have the trade function all over India. No other trading companies from British will come to India. This is trade monopoly. The trade will only done by the East India Company, so which is called as trade monopoly. So in Charter Act 1793, the trade monopoly was given to East India Company for 20 years. Then the members of the Board of Control and East India staffs are paid out from the Indian revenue, the tax which are collected from the Indian peoples, which is called as Indian revenue. From there, the Board of Controls and EAC staff will get the salaries. The next one is Charter Act 1813, which came after the 1793, 20 years later. So this was on the next Charter Act. So the trade monopoly of his EIC has been stopped. So in Charter Act 1793, so East India Company has given a right for a trade monopoly for 20 years. So after 20 years, this has been stopped. So but the Indian trade will become open to all British merchants. So in British, if there is a many trading company, all they have the permission to do a trading functions in India, but the East India Company continued its monopoly over the trade in tea and the trade with China. So to trade with China and to trade about the tea in India, East India Company have a trade monopoly for another 20 years. And for education, they provide 1 lakh to improving education in India. And then they allowed Christian missionaries to some of the missionaries will came to spread their religions. So likewise, the Christian missionaries were allowed in India, and they spread about the Western education, so which is about British education. So then it authorized the local government in India to impose tax on persons. So tax will be imposed on persons. If any persons didn't pay the tax, they allowed them, they could punish for not paying the tax. So the people from the British East India Company will punish the people if they are not paying the tax. So these are came under the Charter Act of 1813. So after 20 years, there is a Charter Act of 1833 where the Governor General of Bengal is now changed into the Governor General of India to control all its military and civil powers. So first Governor General of India was William Bentinck. So the Governor of Bombay and Governor of Madras now didn't have any legislative power. So legislative power means basically, so this is a power to create law, and execute means the law you are creating from the legislative, they are the people who execute these powers. And judiciary means if any problem has been occurred in this, there will be a judiciary which is called as court to solve these disputes. So after that, East India Company is changed into purely administrative body from commercial body. So before that, they become a commercial body and do all the trading things, and after that they become a fully administrative body. and they also did an attempt for an open competition to select civil servants. So civil servants means basically the people who work for the government. And the main thing is Indians should not be debarred from holding any place or office employment under the East India Company, which means, so because of they are Indians, they didn't there will be no restriction for Indians to work in an office, because only because they are Indian. So there will be some people said you are Indian and you did not come into the office of the East India Company. Likewise they did, but only for the reason of Indians, they should not be debarred from holding any place. Though this was came in the Charter Act of 1833, and after that there will be Charter Act of 1853. So after 20 years there will be Charter of 1853. So first time the legislative and executive functions of the Governor General has been divided, and they provided an open competition for civil servants. So in 1854, Macaulay Committee suggested to have Indian civil service to recruit the peoples to work for the government by conducting an examinations. So the Governor General Executive Council before that already have a 4 members. Now it is divided into two council. The one is Legislative Council, the another one is Executive Council. The Legislative Council will have 6 members, and the Executive Council will have the 4 members. So now before there is an Executive Council, which was now changed into the Legislative Council and Executive Council. So the Governor General's Executive Council have 6 members, right? In which first time the local representative from Indian came into the Legislative Council. Like from provinces, they recommended some persons to work in the one of the 6 members in the Legislative Council. So 4 out of 6 members were came from the government of Madras, Bombay, Bengal, and Agra. So this came to an end in the company rules. Thank you.